I think this program has a lot of benefits. Aside academic and financial, scholarship.
It has a lot.
Because let's count it. You have been in about 6 countries.
Okay, UK, so far UK, Estonia, Latvia, Finland, Sweden. Yes, so far.
And you are going to Netherlands and Germany.
Yes.
That will be 7.
Yes.
And there will be more. You are about to pick valuable lessons from the experiences of an Erasmus scholar who has studied at the University of Glasgow in the UK, University of Tartu in Estonia, and is about to go to the Netherlands. If you are an aspiring candidate for any scholarships to study abroad, or you want to know more about the experiences of people who are in the Erasmus Mundus scholarship programs, then stay tuned to the end. He shares a simple, easy to follow step in writing a motivation letter, statement of purpose, or personal statement that clearly communicates your intentions to the review board and also impresses them to consider your application for your scholarship. Trust me, this is coming from someone who has won 4 scholarships in a chain, so the quality of the information is guaranteed. Let's dive in. So you are almost 1 year in UK now?
Yes, almost 1 year.
Almost 1. So how is the program going so far?
From the beginning, it was more relaxing. Because we started from Glasgow, and in the semester we had to do 4 courses in the semester, but in Estonia we did 6 courses. And it was more intense in Estonia because in Glasgow we didn't have a lot of assignment to do. For each course we had to do just one big assignment for the whole semester, but in Estonia every week you have to do an assignment for each of the courses. So on the average we had about 4 assignments to do in Estonia, and every week we had about 5 articles to read. That's the least.
5 articles.
So for my time in Estonia, I would say for the whole semester I read over 80 articles.
Right.
Over 80 articles with lots of assignments, individual assignments, group tasks, and presentations. So as you move on with the program, what I have observed is it keeps getting intense.
So for those of you who don't know, for the Erasmus Mundus program, it's a mobility program. This means that you move from country to country or from university to university. So he has been in the UK for a semester, that's like 3 to 4 months.
Yes.
And then has moved from University of Glasgow to University of Tartu in Estonia for another 3 to 4 months. And
4 months.
Oh, for 4 months.
Yes.
And back to Glasgow again. Your initial impression and expectations. What were your expectations when you were coming? Freshly from Ghana to start this program, and then going into the program, have your expectations been met?
When I was coming from Ghana with a course in museums and heritage, I was expecting more practical things. If I say practical, I mean more visits to museums, heritage sites, and cultural institutions. And on that aspect, my expectations have been met, because we visited a lot of museums and historical places while I was in Glasgow. And when we went to Estonia for one of the courses, we were more into exhibition analysis and comparing museums.
So what does that mean? I don't understand.
For exhibition analysis, if I say exhibition analysis, if you go to a museum, the objects there are part of a certain exhibition.
Okay.
They represent something.
Right.
Everything in a museum, right from the design of the museum, even before you enter, it speaks to something.
Okay.
The colors used in the exhibition, how the objects are arranged, all of them mean something. So in Estonia, that's one of the courses we were doing, and the course structure didn't just concentrate on Estonia. We had to take a trip to Latvia to visit a museum there and compare it to another one we visited.
Latvia is an European country.
Yes, it's after Estonia. Yes, 4 hours by bus. So we went on a road trip to a museum in Latvia, and it was all fun. So I would say to some extent my expectations have been met. But if we are to do let's say course by course within the program, that's where maybe I'll have some things to say.
So when comparing, you moved from Ghana to UK.
Yes,
you came to meet a different culture, behavior, the way British do their things. You met some culture shocks. What were some of the culture shocks you met in Glasgow? And then after adapting to that for like 3-4 months, you have moved to Estonia, a different environment altogether. What or how have you been able to adapt to these different cultures?
Okay, so when I got to Glasgow, my first cultural shock was the fact that people do not really like greeting. And even for my mates, when we started, we go to class and I meet them, I say, good morning, and they will just look at you and smile. They will just smile back. And everywhere I go, you all right? You all right? And so,
hiya.
Yes.
You all right?
So I considered it that maybe this is also their way of greeting. So I stopped saying good morning, good afternoon, and I was also started, you all right? Hiya, those kind of things.
Yeah. So it's a thing of these European people, the British people. They say even if they say you're right, they are not expecting you to respond.
Of course, they are not expecting you to respond. It's just like something they say to acknowledge your presence.
Yes.
Not like they are really interested in knowing how you are doing, or something. Just to say, I've seen you, I know you are.
So has there been anything different you've witnessed or experienced in Estonia?
Okay.
Aside what you experienced in
yes. Comparing the UK to Estonia, UK is very multicultural and diverse. Estonia is not so diverse, and they are very different from people in the UK. Estonians are relaxed. They are very quiet. They do not even talk to themselves.
I see.
Estonians, and they are shy.
That's weird.
Yes. But I've been to places in Estonia where I got certain stares, like people
will be staring at you.
Yes, staring at you. And I've also had people who are white also complain to me that they also get stares. Because
they are white but not Estonian.
Yes, because for what I observed in Estonia is that they have certain looks. So for me, if I see someone who is Estonian, I was able to tell that, okay, this one looks like 90% Estonian. So if you are any way different from them, then you will get looks, especially if you go to the outskirts of the town where they've not really come into contact with a lot of internationals. You will get.
And then comparing both universities, University of Glasgow and the University of Tartu, what were the structural differences, academical differences, or when it comes to studies, were there any differences, or is still the same?
There was a big difference between the Glasgow program structure and University of Tartu structure. And for most of us who went to University of Tartu in Estonia, it was a shock to us.
Okay.
Because they do their things so different from what we are used to in Glasgow. So we assume that because they are all in a consortium, if we've been used to or been introduced to a certain structure in Glasgow, we are
going to follow.
Yes, forgetting the fact that these are autonomous and independent universities who have. So what I observed in Estonia, as I said, is that they are into assignments like homework, like you are in a high school.
Okay.
Every lecturer, even before the class, you have something to do, an assignment and readings, articles, and after the class, there is another way for you to submit. And in Estonia too, for my department in University of Tartu, they do not award grades. In Glasgow, we had A1 to A5, B1 to B3, those sort of things. But in Estonia, what they were doing in the department is pass and fail.
Okay.
But for my course, for those of us who were studying Erasmus in that department, they had to
do it,
grade us, because that's what our parent university, which is University of Glasgow, is doing. Because at the end of the semester, they had to transfer our result to Glasgow.
Your coursework.
And that pass and fail is incompatible with what Glasgow is doing.
Nice. Well, I think it gives you some diversity. You get to experience different things. I mean, the same institutions, kind of, but different ways of doing things, and people with their own ideologies. When it comes to support, I mean, when you face any challenge during your coursework, are there any supports you get?
Yes, so first of all, we have course reps.
Okay.
If you are facing periodically, like we do reviews, if something is not going well, you send it to the course reps and they will forward it to the program director. But if you are facing a problem which is so urgent, nothing stops you from directly reaching out to our program directors and they will be addressed. That's if they can, because they cannot satisfy all demands. Some demands are very superficial, so if they cannot satisfy that, then but they make an attempt to address all our concerns, so there is support available.
Now let's focus on people who want to come into this program. I have seen that the Erasmus program is very, very competitive, extremely competitive. It kind of is very out there. A lot of people know about it. People are applying for it. A lot of people are getting rejected as much as people are being offered admissions. So for those who are coming across my channel for the first time, we've had a video before together where we spoke about how to apply for the Erasmus, how to apply for the scholarship, how to choose the program, and I mean some tips to give you higher chances of getting awarded the scholarship. Has anything changed?
From what we discussed the last time, I would say nothing
has changed.
Yes, nothing has.
So if you haven't watched that video yet, it is on the channel and I'll link it in the description of this video as well. You can check out. There are about 2 different videos, one I made alone and one with him. You can watch the 2 and then you'll get more insight into the requirements and how to apply for the program. And now let's talk about have you got any tips for people who are yet to apply, considering the fact that the program has become very competitive? Are there any new things you have discovered that will help people be able to apply and stand a chance of winning? I saw on your status the other time where you had helped someone who gained admission into the program.
Yes, so what I would say is that I had the opportunity to first review what she wrote earlier. That's the motivation letter. Because the year I applied and got in, she also applied and she did not get in. So before I offered any form of assistance to her, I had to know what she did wrong to tailor the assistance specifically to her needs. So I realized that the motivation letter she wrote lacks consistency. And if I say consistency in the motivation letter, you want to tell them why you should be selected and what you want to do after school. So I realized in the motivation letter, I could point out 3 different things she's saying she would do after school. On one side, she's saying she wants to go into academia. On another portion, she wants to go into industry. So someone on the admission board will be asking questions that what exactly does this person want to do? If you lack consistency, no one would give you admission. So just be consistent. And if you are still in school, I know there is a lot of discussions going on social media, especially in Ghana, on TikTok and on Twitter. People downplaying the essence of education.
Yeah, that funny thing. It was on TikTok where
Yes, people are
downplaying compound.
Exactly. You can keep downplaying the impact of education, but some of us, we know what education has done for us. So if you are still in school, do well to graduate with good grades. If you do that, it makes the job much easier for you to get a scholarship. Don't listen to people that, oh, it's not important, blah blah blah. Do well and graduate with good grades. If you do that, things become easier for you.
So we're going to touch on the motivation letter later.
Yeah.
But once you've mentioned it, let's tackle it now.
Okay.
With the motivation letter, so how should the structure be? How should it look like?
Okay, writing is an art. It shouldn't have any rigid structure, but every motivation letter I write, I follow 5 steps.
Okay.
The first one is, for the first paragraph, I write about why I'm interested in this program. Maybe I have seen a certain gap in this field I want to solve after school. There is a problem that I feel this program will equip me with the required skill to solve. So talk about what you want to do, the problem you have discovered in the field, and why this program or this particular school. That should be your first paragraph. So whoever is reading or reviewing the motivation letter, after the first paragraph, the person will know that this is what you want. In my second paragraph, I write about what I have already done that relates to the program. So this is where I write about my research experiences, the courses I took during my undergraduate studies, how they equip me with the skill, and how the skill will be beneficial for that master's program. Don't feel shy about boasting about your own achievements. You didn't get it on a silver platter, so feel good about writing about what you've been able to achieve. No matter how little you think it is, write about it. In my third paragraph, I write about my professional experiences. If there are any volunteering I have done, any jobs I have done that in a way relates to what I want to study, make sure you also talk about that. Don't just talk about that in general. Find a link between that experience and what you want to study. And the fourth paragraph, that's where I write about the program, why I decided to apply for this particular program. Because a course like African Studies, we have a lot of universities around the world offering African Studies. But why this particular school or this particular program? Maybe is there a professor in the department whose research interest aligns with yours? Is it about their course structure, the research reputation, the university environment, or the ranking among international students, how they support international students? This is the part why you have to justify why you are applying to that particular school and that particular department. So with that part, I would always advise people that don't make generic reasons that, oh, this school ranks 30th the whole world. They rank 30th, so what? But if you make it more focused, like writing about a particular professor's research interest in the department, it at least gives the review committee an idea that you have done some background checks checks about the course. You are not applying because you've heard people are also applying. You've taken the pain to at least do some search on them to have an idea of what individual faculty members are doing. And the last one should be your summary, the 5th paragraph. Summarize everything you have written, but refrain from adding, "I hope to hear from you soon."
Why not?
Allow the review committee to do things at their own pace. Always end on a good note, but just if you can avoid that. So what I usually do is that in the last paragraph, I summarize my academic achievements, professional achievements, work experiences, what I want to do in the future, and how this program
Will
help me. And I also always situate myself as a good candidate. I won't say directly that I'm the best to come out as pompous to the committee, but always find creative way of positioning yourself as the best candidate for.
What is the example of how to position yourself as a best person indirectly?
Okay, so for me, let's say something like, I believe my academic performances, my research experience, and my commitment to this academic journey, as evident in my bachelor's, makes me a suitable candidate for this program. I didn't say best. Suitable. That won't come out as pompous or anything.
So if we go according to your 5-step motivation letter structure, in the first paragraph, which is step 1, you talk about why you are choosing that program and the things you want to do.
Yes.
So
in short, first, why this program, and what you want to do after school.
Okay.
Second, your academic background and how it relates to the program. Third, professional experience, and find a link to the program. Fourth, write about the course, why you have decided to do this course and this particular university. Last one, conclude on everything you've written, what you want to do after school, be specific about it, and end by adding why you are the perfect candidate for the program.
I think we missed the step. So why this program? The things you want to do. I mean, why are you choosing that program? And then second, the things you have done that are related
academic.
Okay, so
maybe you have done some courses. So for me, and
also all is part of the background, your academic background.
Right. So for me, I'm studying education in museums and heritage. In my bachelor's, I did political science and archaeology.
Okay.
In archaeology, I found a lot of courses. Like we did intangible cultural heritage, African heritage, civilization of Africa, archaeological excavation. These are courses that links to museum and heritage. So these are the courses I talked about.
Okay.
And how it has positioned me for a graduate school in the same field.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Nice. So I mean, easy to follow. At least if
like it's simple. I've seen a lot of videos about motivation letter. Before I wanted to apply, I didn't go around seeking people to review or write for me. I looked on YouTube, saw a lot of videos about how to write motivation letter, but I found one very simple. And the person I found from was someone who has won 2 master's scholarships, already doing his PhD, and now a faculty member at London School of Economics and Political Science. So where you get your information is also important.
Has this person won Erasmus scholarship or a different scholarship?
He's won different scholarships, not Erasmus. Yes, different prestigious scholarships.
Is this person a Ghanaian?
Nigerian. Yes.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just look at what people have done and tailor it to your situation.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah. It's not that complicated. Motivation is simple. And use simple, clear language. No big English, which will force people to look in the encyclopedia or thesaurus to find what you actually mean. Be simple.
Okay. So apart from the motivation letter, is there any challenging aspect of the application process again?
Okay, people struggle with CV writing.
Okay.
Because the very first time I applied for a scholarship, I used the CV I used for job applications to apply for that scholarship, and I got outright rejection.
All right.
That's the only outright rejection I have got since I started applying for schools.
Right.
So I reached out to someone for reasons the person doesn't want to be known, and that's why he told me there is something called academic CV. Okay. So you cannot use the same CV you use for job applications to make graduate school applications. There are some differences between these two.
What are these differences? What appears in job application CVs that doesn't need to appear in graduate school applications?
Okay, so job applications is usually fully focused on your previous job experiences, but academic CV should all be about, of course there are sections for your job experiences, but what I include about my academic CV is of course my education background, my research experience. If you have any teaching experience, include it, because for people who make applications to US universities, their scholarship is in a form of assistantship.
Okay.
And they will look out for whether you have any teaching experience to assist faculty in course delivery.
Right.
And apart from that, if you have any publications, you add that too. If you've done any internships, you add that. Community service or volunteering, you make sure you also add that, and the languages you speak and their proficiency levels, add that. If you have any certifications, you've taken any courses online and you can prove it, you also add that. So basically these are what is non-negotiable in an academic CV, except the publications, because the publications are usually for PhD program. Yes, PhD level. But if you have it for masters, then why not?
Yes, okay. Talking about online courses, let me introduce you to UNCAF, a transformative scholarship that you will need at a point in your life. With UNCAF scholarship, you can achieve your dream of higher education in top universities in the UK with scholarship up to about 70%. UNCAF partners with leading universities in the UK and US to offer affordable quality online degrees to students across the globe. They have undergraduate programs, master's programs, PhD and professional short courses. All these programs are accredited by the British Accreditation Council. And guess what? You get the same credentials as people who offer the same program on campus, and these certificates are recognized internationally. Whether you are looking to advance your career, change fields, or simply pursue your passion, UNCAF provides the flexibility and support you need to succeed. Click the link in the description below to check out the available programs, apply, and start achieving greatness from today.